Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast, officially the best Shrewsbury-focused podcast in the whole world. Okay, I'm Alex Whiteley, and today we've got a great task today of speaking to a very local band who you may remember we spoke to a party in the Quarry Park. We're going to be speaking to Chase and August. We hit it off really well after they performed live, and I've finally done it. Every time I take my mic around, I'm like, "Oh, we'll get you on the biscuit for a feature episode." Doesn't always happen, but it has today. We made it happen. So I've been listening to the music all week, but not on my own. I thought I would enlist the help of a good friend of mine from Los Angeles, Mr. George Lugo. How are you, man?
Hey, how's it going, Alex? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for helping me today. I know it's a different show. Me and George usually we cause havoc on Inglorious Barstools, the other show that we have.
Yeah, that we do.
The full complement of the team is there. There's George, Moose, and David already. But this is music. This is what we love. So I thought it'd be great to bring you in. So thank you.
I really appreciate you including me in this. It's very special, and I have a lot of questions, and I have I'm hopefully maybe geek out a little bit because I did really find their music very. It was a lot of fun to listen to, actually. So,
yeah, we were joking just before with the guys. Yeah. They are backstage at the moment, like, oh, it's bleeding from the ears. It was terrible, but it really isn't. It really isn't. The music's fantastic. The performance is great. We got some videos from backstage at a party in the Quarry Park. You can see the energy. But let's meet the guys. This is Chase and August. We've got Lewis, Alex, and Jack. How are you guys? You good?
Hello.
Yeah, we're all good, thank you.
Doing great.
Now, guys, I know you guys have been busy in the studio recording new stuff, new material, but we are in the height of festival season. It's the time of year where everybody wants to get out in the sun, drink a few beers, and dance around like idiots to music live. Jack, how's that been for you guys? Have you been traveling an awful lot?
We haven't, to be fair. We've done kind of the local ones. We did obviously the food fest party in the park. We did a Bishop's Castle one, which we travelled down for that, and that was that turned out to be like crazy fun. But we haven't, to be fair, because we're still at the mercy of trying to find a full-time drummer. So whenever we try and book and arrange gigs, are like, we've got to like run around like 3 or 4 different people going like, is anyone free? Anyone free for this gig? So yeah.
Okay.
That must be a nightmare. That you want to go. You want to go do these things, and you need a drummer. Obviously, it's. I met the guy that helped you drum at a party in the park. Is he like a stand-in drummer that you guys can use as and when he's free?
Yeah, he's basically he deps for us. He's we got like 3 people who stand in and help out. Who they're all great in their own different way. So like the chemistry is always really different with each one of them. And Mike, who was it? He was at food. Was it the food festival in the park? That was the one. Yeah. Mike. When we played that, like, it's so much fun because Mike just comes in and he just goes wild. He's like an animal. It's great. And so it's amazing. But this is the trouble because they're all such talented individuals that they're all like, I'm okay. I'm good to help out, but they've got lots on because they are very talented. So
nice. Well, hopefully you find a drummer soon. What we could do is go around and let the band actually introduce what role they play in the band. So we'll start off with Lewis. But Lewis, what are you in the band? What are you?
From the Rumble Down Under. I'm the bass player. I've been in the band since last August. So just about 12 months now.
Okay.
Fairly new. Alex?
I'm the lead guitarist, and I do predominantly quite a lot of the backing vocals as well. And I've been in the band since 2019 in July, so a fair bit of time now.
And to be fair, Al does backing vocals, but like, they are chef's kiss, man. Like, if I ever listen to the music, I find myself singing Alex's backing parts because I prefer them over my own parts. So Al's backing vocals are the Flavor Flav, in my opinion.
Thanks, mate.
Just throwing compliments. I'm Jack. Sorry, I'm the lead singer and rhythm guitarist. I started the band way back in 2015, I think it was.
Wow.
It was under a different name. It's been through a few lineup changes. It started predominantly just me and an acoustic guitar, but where we are now, the sound, the live set, all of that good stuff. Like this is Chasing August. It's nothing without the Huzarski boys. So this now is Chasing August sound.
And I do feel like you're onto something there with your sound. And what I've got is, I hope I didn't get pulled on YouTube for this. I don't know, but I've got a clip backstage at Party in the Park singing my favorite song that you've released so far is Stop the Cavalry. We'll take a look at this, and hopefully the listeners and the viewers at home can get a vibe of the energy from you guys. Here we go. This is from Party in the Park. It just stops. I was going to put that into little clips. It just stops. No editing skills there from Whiteley on that one. Just stops. What? Look at the chemistry between you guys. You're having so much fun there.
Looks like you guys are having a blast up there. That looks so much fun.
We really do thrive in a live environment, I think, don't we? We absolutely love it.
I think it helps as well, doesn't it? Obviously Al and Lou are brothers, but the three of us, we get on so well. We've got such good chemistry personally, and it's something Al really touched on when he joined the band. Like, he was so adamant about we should spend some time together outside of the band and do stuff, and we had such a connection. Like, the second I met him,
it was like we'd known each other for years, wasn't it?
It really was, man. It was so strange, and it just transpires on stage. And then having Lou come in, Lou is essentially, he's just energy in a skin suit. It's unbelievable. No one can be unhappy around Lou. Yeah. Literally, I mean that in a complimentary way. I love you.
It sounds so sinister when you say it that
way. But it is one of them where it's you can't not be happy around Lou. So he just brings that to everything. So when we're on stage, it is stupid fun.
If we could take a step back really quick, because you said you started your band in 2015, and you were it was a solo thing, right? And you were doing acoustics. At what point were you you wanted to transition and reach out and actually introduce more people into your band and maybe change the sound?
Yeah, it was interesting because I used to have a band years ago, and I loved that band. I never thought I'd have another band like it or anything like that. I put out a solo acoustic record, and someone reached out to me and was like, "This is amazing. Can I come drum for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, might as well. I get a bass player in, and we'll see what happens." And the more stuff I wrote, so that first album, I pretty much wrote it all just on an acoustic guitar, and then it transpired into a full band mix. It was I suppose it was just one of those things that slowly started spitballing, and I think for me, I missed having a band. I think it was recently I heard someone attest it to kind of being on a sports team. Now, being very sporty.
Anyone for Polo?
Oh gosh! The only thing I love about sports is the showers after. But it was one of them where there's such a different vibe working in a band, and I missed it. I missed it massively. And like I say, it was. When I met Alex, it was one of those things where just having someone to bounce ideas off and someone to work with, someone to write with, Al found a way of his guitaring is so incredible, and he's so proficient with what he does, and he's got such a tuned ear, and I'm very much the guitar accompanies the fact that I like to write songs, and that's it. I love to write and I love to perform. And so when we came together, it was just such a beautiful mix of both of our strengths working in unison. And that was the biggest thing for me, is just missing having that someone that you can lean on, and having those people around you that, like, it's like, say, you get pumped, you get excited, you know, I can send a track over acoustically and suddenly all these ideas start coming out from everyone else, and you don't get that working on your own. And I think it's so nice being in a band, because it's a team. And then, you know, currently it's moved from that team vibe to, like, we're a family. We support and love each other, and it's great.
I gotta say though, I mean, different aspects to a band, they kind of affect differently, don't they? I mean, like songwriting, for example. Can you guys all sit together and write a song together? Who writes the music? Is it a team effort? Can you sit down, like, no, cut that, take that out, put this in there? Can you gel and vibe?
We're quite usually. I mean, a lot of the songs, don't they? And it sounds like I'm bragging, and I really don't mean to. A lot of the songs start with me and an acoustic guitar, and I'll send them over, and then I'll go in, because he knows, like, I'm like, cool, sweet, 3-4 chords, nice, easy, kind of either full chord or bar chord, and then I'll go, add a ninth or something, and I'm like, I don't know what this means, and he'll go, let's change the end of. I'm like, where do I put my fingers though? What does that mean? And so we're very happy to, like, pull the songs apart to kind of build them up, and then I suppose it's not until we kind of hit the studio where, like, Lou's been working on bass lines and playing with stuff, and we'll, you know, work together that way. So yeah, I suppose it all has that, like, starter idea, but then the end result is that collective effort of kind of all of us, which I think is really nice. I don't know if the boys disagree, where they're like, I write them all.
That's about bang on, really. These guys do a lot of the melody and main sort of stuff that you'll hear, and I'll just say, if you send me the track, I'll work on a bass line, and we just kind of bounce it to each other then, and then go for it in the room and see how it goes.
I'd love to play, like, some of the old demos of, I mean, songs like Electric and even like After Dark. There's, like, my phone's always full. Jack even joked with me earlier, is like, you never have space on your phone, and it's because I've got so many little mini videos of me recording my screen going, I've moved this here and I moved this here, look, we can do this and we can do that, and my phone's always completely rammed full of videos that I've sent to Jack. I think I need a second phone.
It's so funny though, isn't it? After Dark,
so I got 2 phones now.
Ballad.
That's it, yeah, one phone for each song, because it takes up that much space.
Do you guys like to keep stuff that you've made though? I mean, like, I was chatting to Tom Bruno, my ex co-host, who's like, yo, the USUC website's not working. I was like, no, we archived it for a bit. We're not doing a show anymore. We had to archive it. And he's like, have you still got the stuff? I was like, I've got everything I've ever recorded, mate. Like, I'm never going to let go of it, because it might be something useful there. You know? That's
it. Our Google Drive is we were talking again recently about the fact that it needs a bit of a clear out, because we keep absolutely everything. There's like version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the rest.
That's good, because you never know when you want to maybe dive back and maybe dig up some inspiration from older stuff that possibly didn't work out.
Didn't NWA fish F the police out of the bin? They were like, what's this scrumpled up piece of paper? And all of a sudden they put it together and you're like, oh, we threw that away. And it's a very iconic song.
Yeah, it's a very iconic song.
It's amazing. I want to speak to the brothers, because famously brothers in music tend to do really well. Whether, you know, you talk about the Gallagher brothers, Leto brothers. One of my favorite bands at the moment is Highly Suspect. They've got the 2 brothers that run the band, but they don't sing, but they play together in perfect harmony. Have you guys always played together? Have you been able to gel when you put music together? Has this been a lifelong thing for you both?
Yeah, I think Lou and I started off. I mean, I personally started playing guitar when I was around the age of 10, but the guitar ventured into the household much earlier than that. When I can't remember how old you were, Lou, but there was. 7. I just remember a guitar. Was it 11? Wasn't it?
And it got 7. I was 7, and then the guitar got stole off me.
Yeah, because myself and my older brother just gelled with it a little bit more than you. You grabbed your skateboard and you were straight back outside after a week, wasn't you?
Yeah.
But myself and my older brother really gelled with the guitar. But as soon as it came to that point where you get good enough as a musician, I think, to go out and start to think about playing gigs and writing your own music, we were always, it was never in question. We were never looking for different instrumentalists. Obviously, you took the bass, didn't you, much later on?
Yeah, when I was 12, I thought I want to try playing bass, and that was it. Never looked back. So
nothing better than a sexy bass track, I tell you.
Yeah,
I'm a sexy bass player.
And a sexy bass player. Do you know what? Actually, Lou, I've got. I had a great video that we won't upload to StreamYard. They're like, "You've taken up too much space." But I'm recording backstage, and you give me a really cheeky. You're like playing, and you're like in the background. You look sexy. I think it was really fun because you were having fun. You're having a great time.
Yeah,
I've got to say. Party in the Park was an awkward set for you guys because it was kind of like they played music, everybody gathered around at the beginning, then they all dispersed to go and get beers and stuff, right? And it's before kind of the headline sort of act came on. So everybody's out getting beers. It wasn't there were thousands of people there, but not directly at the stage. So you did a great job to bring people in, and I got that on footage. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
When we got
Stop it.
There's so many compliments. I don't know what to do.
I know. Gosh.
Well, we did just tell you guys were awful right at the beginning, just to drop it down a little bit.
Like, let's get this out of the way.
Yeah. I brought some sunglasses. Where I was going to do the Howard Stern thing, like. So you guys have done music for a long time, huh?
That's amazing.
Which one of you is the worst? Which one of you needs a bit more encouragement, huh? No, that's a serious question. How do you guys get in focused, get in the zone when you're about to go on stage to play a gig?
We've recently started talking quite a lot between. I mean, Lewis has started doing quite a lot of vocal warm-ups, haven't you, prior to set now? And that's become a little bit of a focus point. It's like 40 minutes to an hour beforehand. It's like vocal warm-ups commence, and recently we started getting together to do that as a free piece as well. But we do get nervous. Even the little shows and the big shows, we still get nervous. So we do communicate quite a lot, don't we? And just say, look, just get on there, do your thing. You can get into your head, can't you? It happens for everyone, I think, really.
And I think we've got that, haven't we? One of the big things we did a show, and I think, I know especially me and Al walked off, and it was sort of post-COVID, and both of us were kind of in our heads a little bit about it. We were like, actually, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel in the right mindset for it. And sort of post that, the big thing we took away from it was just get up and have as much fun as we can. Like, we're all in it together. Whatever happens, but as long as we kind of have fun, just enjoy it, just soak up however long of a set we've got, and just roll with it. And that was a real big shift for me. That was a big change, because that was pre Lou coming in the band as well. That we'd had that moment of like, that gig I didn't feel personally, like internally didn't feel good. And Al kind of voiced similar thoughts afterwards, like, yeah, no, I know what you mean. And whether it was post-COVID anxieties or whatever it was, I don't know. But Lou joined, and like I say, the energy that he brings is so different, and it really helped to elevate us. So before going on, there's always that thing of like, we do have vocal warm-ups. Lou makes like these incredible teas. I don't know what he does, and I was like, he needs to start selling these teas, because they are like...
I was an alchemist when I had COVID.
Literally,
Literally, like
in the kitchen, like...
Where was that gig? We was at a gig in Birmingham, wasn't we, at the Sunflower Lounge? And obviously the promoter just poked his head round the sort of the storage area, but it was so full in there, like you couldn't put your feet down. Everyone's gear was in there, and Lou's there with his Tupperware open, loads of suspect-looking tea, and this guy comes in and he's like, "It's just tea. It's just tea."
That's not what it looks like.
He's got one of them.
Find a kettle in that room.
He's got one of them things out of Harry Potter that just like screams when you pull it out the plant.
He's got a mandrake with him.
That was it. He's got a mandrake. Do you want one? It was.
I can just imagine him actually. It's just tea, and he's like, "It's just tea. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, you know what? It's kind of natural, I imagine, for a lot of musicians to go on stage, and because I can't imagine, I can't understand how musicians do it. Guitar players remember the notes and stuff. Whilst Jack, you jump around an awful lot. I've got some still. Again, that video didn't work, but you put some energy into your shows. And
you wouldn't think it for a big lad, would you?
And I've done a bit of comparing before. All I got to do is stand there and talk, and I get inside my own head. And I remember I was at the Shropshire Virtual Show. I don't know if you remember this, guys. It was like a hybrid show that they did in Much Wenlock in the Cavalier Centre. And the Shrewsbury Biscuit were like the hosts. So there were thousands of people, we had TV cameras, and we'd be like, hey, that was such and such, and coming up next, we've got da-da-da. But first, we're going to see a video from da-da-da. And that was us throughout the whole day, but we did a bit of comparing too, because it was like a hybrid event. And I remember I ended the show, I was on stage, guys, this has been a great show. And I was like, thank you for joining us at the Shrewsbury Virtual Show. It wasn't. It was the Shropshire Virtual Show. made an idiot of myself in front of probably 50,000 plus people. It does happen, and I'm just talking. Never mind jumping around with a guitar. So hats off to you.
Thank you.
I think it's that practice time ultimately, and the muscle.
I think it's the music as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we've had like rough sounding gigs where you're struggling to hear stuff.
Mm.
And it's like you just know where it is, and you know what to play. But it is down to that, just being ready for it, I guess.
It's that cliche movie thing, isn't it? When a band gets on stage and there's that mic feedback.
And then they play the best show ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Metal Lords.
So, George, I sent you Chasing August stuff. You've been listening to it for the last couple of days from stateside. I mean, obviously, the UK and US have two very different sounding music palettes, I guess. What as an American, what do you feel about the music you've been listening to?
To be honest, I kind of oddly just felt inspired to do stuff. I like the vibe that you guys put off. They have a great sound. The first thing that he sent me to listen to was the
Chasing the Cavalry.
Chasing the Cavalry. I'm sorry.
Call the Cavalry.
Call the Cavalry. And I really enjoyed that sound. So I kept listening more, and then I was listening to I think it was your self-titled album, and one of my favorite songs on there was Pages, and it hit like a note where like it hit me, and I was like, oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but
I'll beep it out. It's fine.
It would hit a spot where I was like, man, I feel this. So you guys make incredible music. And one of my questions was, where do you get your inspiration, to actually write all this stuff? Do you guys because I know you said that you create the music and then everyone kind of like joins in. How much of the whole band comes in and makes a song come to, fruition?
Yeah, I think all of us, to be fair, all of us adds our own kind of flavour and flair and influences to it. I'm massively influenced, and I think you can hear it in it, and it's always something we've laughed and joked about, and in school it was even worse, but I always sing with an American accent because I grew up loving American bands like Blink-182, 30 Seconds to Mars, Kings of Leon, Foo Fighters, all of that good stuff. So I really love that type of, I don't know, pop punk, skate punk, alt rock, whatever you want to call it. Like that's my vibe. And so for me, the biggest influence in that has always been kind of that. I always wanted to do those like anthem-y sounding songs where it was like, I want to do that like Angels and Airwaves style stuff. One of my top bands, love them, and like 30 Seconds to Mars style vocals, and so I think it's one of them where we all contribute our different influences, which I think is what forms the sound so well, because our influences aren't too far apart. We've all got similar bands that we like, but then we've all got different ones, and I think that feeds into it. And then lyrically, I made a real big shift when I wrote for Chasing August, in the lyrical sense, I wanted to write more true to myself and realistic. So I write stuff that has meaning to me or my personal experiences, but I wrote them in a more metaphorical way. Whereas in my previous band, I always wrote fantasy. So I know it, and it's really weird because at the time and a couple of the tracks when I listen back to them anyway, from my old band, I always remember like what was happening at that time, because I was like, oh, that was based on this book I was reading. And it was based all in fantasy of these stories that I'd heard. Whereas I think the difference with Chasing August for me and what makes it, it's so special is I can relate each song to something personal for me. So either an experience or it's about someone, but it's not done in a really direct way. It's done in a real metaphorical way, which was and what continues to be such a driving influence for me is just keeping it really honest to myself.
We really experimented as well, didn't we? From a writing perspective, I know earlier, Jack, you touched on the idea that you, rightly so, a lot of the songs like Wonderless, for example, it started with Jack on a guitar and vocals, whereas a song like Electric was completely composed before any lyrical content existed. So there's two very different songs there, and I know from a writing perspective, I can listen back to that and I can spot it, I can hear it. After Dark was a happy accident, wasn't it? When we were trying to write for one song and then ended up making a completely different one. But a lot of that, again, we were experimenting. We had the lockdown. We were doing a lot of Zoom-related recordings. And I know I was copying and pasting vocals around and throwing them around. Even the middle eight in After Dark, for example, those woes just got pasted in the end just to see what they were like there. And it ended up becoming a thing for the track. So there's a lot of experimentation there.
It was also the middle eight on After Dark, wasn't it? You'd taken because really interesting, it was based off like a ballad I'd written that was called Heaven, and the chord structure, we were playing around with it and we had so many different ideas, and I was like, I just want to try something for 2 minutes. Pop punks it up, and I was like, for me, I was like, creme de la creme, I'm all over this, like, let's go. And then the middle eight, he took a section of my first verse, the vocal line I'd done, and he drops it into the middle eight, and it was just the please help me out, pack up, let's leave right now, or whatever it originally was. It was that, and he put it, and he was like, I thought this would sound that, and straight away it was like, oh my god, it was like, I didn't think of that. And this is again that excitement of working together is, it's just those little bits of magic that happen along the way that you wouldn't get on your own.
It's something that I think a lot of people, when they think about, I want to be a rock star, that's one of the most exciting things, I think, when you think about it, is like writing a song together and releasing your material to the world. That clarity when it all comes together, it just seems like something really cool to me. I've watched documentaries about Oasis and other bands where they're in recording studios and they're falling out about things, and then all of a sudden it just comes together. The Jimmy Levine stuff, in the studio, making sure it's right. It's got to be right. It's got to be right. Got to be right, and then it just comes together. It can be grueling work, but when it comes together and it becomes perfect, I guess it makes it worth it, right?
I absolutely love the process. It's so infectious, and as soon as you've got an idea and it starts to come to fruition a little bit, you start to navigate down these corridors, don't you? And you can't think about anything else. I'll be out like shopping. I'm like, I've got to get back. I'll record really cringy voice memos on my phone, just singing melodies because I need to get the ideas down somewhere. So there's loads of random things on my phone.
So you can hear Alex before you see him.
Al is king of the voice note. You get I had a 5-minute on the voice. I was like, I'm at work.
And I actually did say, sinking lads, this is going to be a long one. I actually asked you to take a seat.
There's a bit when you were talking, Jack, as well, a second ago. You were like, "Oh yeah, my biggest influence are Angels on Airwaves, 30 Seconds to Mars, Blink-182." And so I really influenced on Cher. I was thinking that would have been a great line. I was just in my head. I was like, that would have been so perfect.
I will fight anyone who says a bad word again. I love Cher. Cher, if anything, Cher should be, in the Turn Back Time video when she's on the Navy ship. This is really showing that I love Cher. I should just rock that outfit on stage. I think it would win, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Just walk out. Do you believe?
And sing a completely different song.
Jack, I will give you. Let's do a whip around. Let's get Jack some.
It's a Cher trick.
I think you could really pull it off, but keep the beard as well.
Lewis is like kind of
So
shrinking those. Like,
inclusive.
please don't.
Just look like Dave Grohl and Jack Black.
Is Lewis is Jack incorrigible? Will he do it if he's egged on enough?
Yeah, quite easily.
We wouldn't even need to egg him on. He'd just do it.
I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Just say we bought it, yeah.
I'll just put some tights on the floor in the rehearsal room and you'll know what to do.
So they were just sitting there, so I put them on.
Yeah.
I can't get him off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them go to waste.
You guys are recording new material, and you've sent me some clips of you guys in the recording studio getting it all together. I've just put them in randomly, but we'll take a look at a couple of these, and then you can explain what's going on afterwards. So here's the first clip. By the way, I'll check these, and StreamYard has done a weird thing and made it look grainy as hell. So I'm very sorry about this, but here's the first clip I found. Here we go. What was that? I looked at that and I thought, what is going through your head?
It was
I get lost in myself. Don't I?
No. It's classic Al when he's hit a dud note recording, and he'll just play just something totally mental.
It's like they sing. It puts me down that I've made a mistake, so I have to make up for it somehow. Yeah.
That clip is shortened as well. That goes on for quite a while.
Yeah.
For the audio listeners at home, Alex is playing a jam on the guitar, and then it pans to Lewis, and he's just shaking his head. I'm like, what?
I've got this typical like lead guitarist syndrome where I'm like, does it need a solo? It definitely needs a solo. Let's try a solo.
Don't do a solo. When's my solo? Why do a solo? Okay, well, let's have a look at another clip right here.
I love it. I love it.
If I could turn back time.
Again, for the audio listeners, that was a video of Jack just gyrating to music.
That was me trying to entice the drummer in. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you sure you don't want to join the band full time? Look what you could get at every moment.
Yeah, just the way that
you're going to be missing out on.
The way that room's like set up, it's like corridor, isn't it? And it kind of pans off into sort of a triangle. So Jack's facing the drummer right there, but that was quite funny, wasn't it? Hilarious, actually.
I mean, that's my girlfriend recording me as well at the time. So, you know, she's captured in by it as well.
I mean, she's probably thinking, what have I let myself in for? What is this?
She's probably thinking, I can't wait to see if he's got the tights on underneath them jeans.
I was going to say, I bet she wishes she could turn back time. Wait.
That's exactly what you should do on your next performance: is have the tights, the whole everything underneath, and get breakaway pants and a shirt.
Take them out.
I feel like a party. Time to party. We'll look at one more then. Here we go. Here's this one.
Come alive, and I'm ready to find the truth. Come alive, and I'm leading this world to you. Come alive, it's easy if you choose.
Wonderful. I love that so much.
That is awesome.
I love Jack's voice. Ever since I first heard the band, I was just pulled in. Look at me, he's getting all bashful now. but I absolutely love your voice, mate. It's so good.
You do have a very amazing voice. We can't just shy away from that. You have a great sound.
I think there's been some moments at rehearsal where, especially in Upstairs, and he hits this note, and I've always turned to Alan. It's like, He's just so into his eyes are closed. He doesn't know. He can't see it, but you just know he's nailed it. Yeah, he's got a really good voice.
And the best thing is that's your voice for life now. You're not going to do a Homer Simpson and be like, oh, you know?
Just change, yeah. I've got some recordings from college where my voice is very ropey.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's. Do you think this is a good question to ask? Actually, do you feel like after a few years your voice gets better or worse?
I don't know, really. I think it depends on how you look after it. Obviously, vaping and all that good stuff definitely doesn't help. I've definitely found I'm at an age now where I know the capabilities of my voice. So I know, I mean, Owl's done stuff before. He's like, oh, mate, let's take it up another key and another key. And I was like, no. I was like, you are straight up out of my comfort zone here. So I think my voice has got better through control because I know how to control it. And I know there's been gigs before where I've lost it midway in terms of like I've just blown it out or I've had a bad throat and I'm like, I know I can't do it. So I know how to bring like my register down and the key down and go, cool, actually, I'm going to have to sing everything really low. So yeah, I think it gets better just through control and just practicing as much as I can.
What about you, Alex?
Well, we switched to in-ear monitors recently, didn't we? I say recently. When I joined the band, I wasn't a big singer. Like my appetite when I was younger I was so engrossed in the guitar, I didn't pay attention to anything else. And it's only as I got a bit older that I realised that if you're going to be in a band, you've got to be able to do some backing vocals. It's just like part and parcel of what you do. I forgot where I was going with that now.
Whether your age gets better, whether your age gets better with voice, or your voice gets better with age.
Voice gets better with age.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think my voice. I don't want to sort of blow smoke up my own arse here, but I think my voice has got better as I've been in the band a little bit longer and longer. With the switch to the in-ear monitors, been able to hear myself better on a live stage. We rehearse with the same gear as well, don't we? So we always have the exact same in-ear feeds in rehearsals that we have on the live stages. So I feel like it's definitely brought my voice out. I know Lewis has started recently like mocking me, saying I've got this Charlie Simpson vibe to my voice now.
You have got it. It's not a mock. It sounds amazing, mate.
And Lewis's think, you know, when you mock me, go on, do it. It's funny.
I can't do it.
Just summon it. He imitates me and it's actually hilarious.
No, my daughter's in bed, so...
Charlie Simpson from Busted. He did Fight Star. Fight Star. He did.
That was it. Yeah.
He's got a good voice, man.
Yeah,
he's a good person to sound like.
Yeah. I think Jack taught me quite a lot about, and not just not from directly sitting me down and saying this is how you need to sing, but more of I realised that Jack was, like you said, American pronunciation. I started pronouncing my vocals a little differently on what I wanted them to sound like, and that I've started. I mean, I experimented quite a lot since I started in the band in 2019. I feel like I've found my voice now, which wasn't there. So I think it does get better with age. I think, like Jack said, improvements.
That's good. Your confidence as well really came out. I think just having that, because whilst people saying it's so lovely to hear people say, "Oh, you've got such a good voice," I'm never like, "Oh my God, I'm an amazing singer and I think I'm great." I just love singing, and I love singing loud and big, and I'm like, yeah, I just love it. So why not do it? And Al, his confidence has really come on to the point where it's like I say, I get a bit jealous. I'm like, oh man, his harmony line's so good. I want to sing that instead. So if I'm listening, I always sing Al's parts because his tone is beautiful and it really complements mine. So yeah, I think
that's key, is that the harmony between you both. And I think that's what I'm getting from what I'm hearing. And the songs that I enjoy the most are the ones where your harmony is just on point. Like, I'm not saying that the other songs are crap. I'm not saying that at all. I love them all. But the ones that I love the most are the ones where you guys are just banging it out with confidence. Like you said, I think confidence is definitely key with that. Go big. Go big.
Well, seeing as like, you know, vocals are such a big part of you know, any song, what do you normally do to preserve like your voice before like a big show?
There's a lot of tea. I don't know, that sounds really silly, but like cups of tea with like lemon in or honey, but not like hot. Tend to drink a lot of water pre-show again, and it sounds really diva-y, but you're like, I can't have cold water, and I can't have like piping hot cups of tea. Everything just has to be like tepid or lukewarm. Because because it's really good for the vocal cord. And I did a lot of like, I've read so much stuff about how to preserve and maintain it ahead of shows. There's more I could definitely do and would like to do. A really good meal, as daft as it sounds, because of the energy. The if you have something that sustains your energy, it's similar to, like I said, like sports and like a football team. You want something that's going to not bog you down and be really like claggy on your throat, so like nothing like dairy and stuff like that. But at the same time, you don't want to have nothing in you, because otherwise the fatigue hits you, and it does take a massive stress. You're purely then just relying on adrenaline. And then really sillily, it's things like, people always think like whisper will save your voice. It's actually more damaging for it to whisper and be. So it's a lot of like limited talking, which is hard for me because I talk a lot, and lots of fluids for me. And then obviously Lou's really big on the vocal warm ups, which is key to it. So yeah, he really sort of, he's good to have him there in that sense of, he's very like, no, we've got to do this. Let's go do it.
I used to work at Shrewsbury Prison, and I used to do scare acting stuff. And one of the roles I had, and bear in mind, this is Halloween. We do this every single night, or night after night after night on the run. And my voice was like this, right? I was real gruff, and I'd get real energetic and scream in people's face, and I'd like it was just really like intense. And after the second night, I was like, "Oh my god, how am I going to keep this up all through Halloween?" But I used to like the Twinings, like fruit tea and stuff. Just sit and drink that, because it really is soothing on the back of your throat. And I'd stay away from things like Coke and Pepsi, things like that, because it would just make it, just like you say, claggy in the back of your throat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, carbonation is definitely not good for that.
I remember when I first joined the band, like I remember us doing quite a lot of shows, Jack, and like at the end of it, your voice was just completely blown out, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Especially the small club shows that we were doing. Like we did like the Shed in Shrewsbury, and even the one in Southport as well. You've just completely blown your voice out. And that's when we spoke about investing in an in-ear monitoring system. That was our kind of first point, wasn't it? We were like, we need to preserve these, because you're pushing so hard to hear yourself through the monitors, but the monitors aren't turned up loud enough.
Is that the bodyguard style coily things that you guys put?
They were a game changer, because like Al said, being able to hear your voice and not have to push it over all the sound was such a difference. It's really fun to gig with them.
So was it like a night and day type thing, where it's like, man, that really helped like a million.
It's just like high definition all of a sudden, wasn't it? Like, it's literally like listening to the record in your ears. And I just think our overall performance as a band just got better since we've started using them, because you can hear everything so well.
Okay.
So what does it do then? Does it sort of condense the sound from your instruments into your ear into a more acceptable level, rather than, is that what it does? Or do you hear
they're like noise cancelling.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're like earplugs, but
essentially
what goes on, it goes
in. Headphones, aren't they? And then we can pick. So it's essentially our monitor, but we have the control over how much or how little of something comes in. So for me personally, I have my vocal as the loudest part, so I can always hear my vocal over everything else, and it's crisp and it's clear. It's literally headphones in my ear. And then I have obviously the lads leveled, so that, because we've done a gig where it was like the mix was really off, and I was getting like loads of the lads and couldn't hear myself, so I had to kind of rip it out, because I was like, I can't pitch where I need to pitch because I can't hear.
The guy's like, "Will you shut up? Are you singing over us?
Yeah.
What are you so loud for, Jack?"
So loud.
It's just from the music being so loud and everything being distorted, you're not exactly sure where you need to be. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's so off-putting. And you can get into your head so much on a live stage. There's been quite a lot of shows we've done where we've, for whatever reason, not been able to use our own equipment, because the engineers are like, I've got to decimate the whole stage to put that into our system, so this is what I can do for you. So they'll send us some in-ear sends from their own console, and it's never what we rehearse with, what we used to. So there's been so many shows where it's been really awkward, isn't it?
I like to hear my voice in my ears. Like, it sounds daft, but I did I did
It
like
helps.
yeah, it really does help. Like,
helps.
Monitoring your own voice. This is why I like to. I don't have to use headphones. Joe Rogan doesn't have to use headphones, but it is better to, so you can monitor your own voice.
Yeah.
I remember I went to. It's a bit like X Factor, but for the radio. And I went to BBC Radio Shropshire to be like, and you had to tell a story for like a minute. So I turned up, and there was a mic there, and they're like, "Right, go," and I was like, I can't hear my voice, and they were like, "Yeah, and get on with it, fat boy." Like, I was, it wasn't quite that rude.
I was gonna say.
And I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And I'm not used to like talking without hearing my own voice, and now when I do the radio, I don't hear my own voice, but I've obviously got the levels I can see whether it goes too loud or what have you, and I struggle talking over a bed, the music in the background. Hey guys, welcome to the show. It's really hard because I can't hear my own voice.
Yeah.
So what I've done now is whenever I do the radio, I turn my volume right down so I don't have to hear the music. I can just look at the levels. But that's just a cheap trailer park way of doing the radio, I guess.
Well, that's just a different skill in itself, right? So now you have to just physically monitor it instead of listening to it like what you're used to.
That's it.
Yeah. Now, guys, we're here for a reason. Obviously, you guys have been recording new material, and we want to tell the folks about it. So, Jack, we just heard you singing vocals for the new single, wasn't it? Was that for Lift Off?
Yep, that's the
Your
one.
new single. Oh, what? See, StreamYard.
Yeah.
Just do that to the picture. That's a really good picture as well. There's the logo. We'll put it on our Facebook page.
I wonder why it's doing that.
I don't know. It doesn't usually do that. I mean, look at my old photos. Look, there you go. Just plug my own radio show. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm sorry, gents.
You saw a shameless plug right here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
My finger slipped.
Here's my Patreon.
I've got to say, Jack, after listening to Lift Off, I've been listening to it all day. I sent it to Jack as well. You're talking about 30 Seconds to Mars. The beginning of that, I do get a lot of that. Not the last album, the one before it. I've forgotten the name of it. I get a lot of that from that. But that album was actually made in a sound lab, not a studio. They literally let scientists make that. And if you can get anywhere near that by doing what you guys do, bravo. I think it sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up with Liftoff because it had such a 30 seconds like inspiration. It was very nice.
But better. Where did the idea come from, Liftoff, guys?
Liftoff was so one of our he's kind of, is he a producer, Al? What do we call him?
I mean, I suppose we refer to Craig as our recording engineer nowadays, don't we? Because he'll often sit in on sessions and do some of the recording elements so that we can actually concentrate on our recording as opposed to being heads of space everywhere else. But our recording engineer is a good term in it.
Yeah. So Craig was the one who kind of came up with the music originally on the demo. So he had this like idea. And again, Craig's a really big kind of AVA fan as well, and all of that. And he was like, I've got this idea, which I instantly gravitated to because I was like, this is my kind of vibe. And then Al kind of picked it all apart. And because we use Kempers, which means they're so unbelievable what you can do with them, and especially what Alex does with them. Like he just creates sounds and kind of brings it all to life that way. And it was just one of them. I was like, I really wanted to. There was just something about it, especially when that chorus hits, and you know, and I do sing the line "Come Alive." But in like really weirdly, I had the last line of the chorus where it was "Before we get lost, get ready for liftoff," and so I kind of built the song around that because I was like, I really want to have this like. It does feel like it's lifting off. It's like you've got in a rocket and you're going to take off on this like crazy adventure, and for me it was very much like that's kind of what the band's still doing at the minute. I feel like we're at a point where we're on the cusp of the next thing. Something big's coming. We put so much effort and so much passion and drive behind it all that it kind of feels like it is literally about to lift off, and that's what I wanted to reflect in the song. And you know, the line "A tale of a boy with a head full of dreams." It's like we've all still got that head full of dreams. Like it's going to happen. We know it's going to take off, and I just I don't know, the song just really, really sat with me and resonated in a different way. So I wanted it to be this big space anthem. I want to go to space with it.
Are we allowed to play like 10 seconds of the track?
Yeah.
Because you're talking about it lifting off. Before I play this, when I a few years ago, I was very down in myself. I had a bit of depression. Life was a bit, and we're talking like 12 years ago now. It's gone. It's an environmental thing. But one of the songs I feel like picked me up a bit and genuinely like something snapped in my brain was "Fire" by Kasabian. Because it starts off with that and then he goes, "I'm on fire," and it's just like it just honestly. So something that can do that, like what Lift Off genuinely did to me, I feel like it's a really hard thing to do to actually move someone emotionally with music. And it sounds like I'm blowing smoke up you guys' backsides, but I'm not. I think it's genuinely like, listen to this, guys. Just 10 people about my TikTok there on this feed. Great, guys. Thanks for that. So this is Lift Off. We're going to play it from the SoundCloud. If you can't hear it, let me know, because I know sometimes these websites have a way of not sharing audio. But we'll play about 10 seconds, I think, of the track. Or 4. Go. I have to stop there, otherwise I'm probably eventually in the future YouTube might go, "We don't want you to share that." Could you guys hear that? Okay.
We didn't get it, mate. No, it didn't come through for us.
Very
just
strange.
For just for you.
Oh, just for me then. I'm
glad you enjoyed it, Alex.
And you guys, ow, we can't hear me. I don't know why. I think that's probably SoundCloud's way of going, "No, you're not sharing the music illegally." Sorry. So, actually, do you know what? I think it might have been.
Did you not hit audio?
No, yeah, I think that's what I did. Should we try that again? Wait there a second.
No, why not?
No. Right, there we go. We're so professional here at the Shrewsbury Biscuit. Share system audio. There we go. Let's try this again, shall we? Here we go. This is Lift Off by Chase in August.
Would you take a risk? Would you follow me? Come alive! And I'm ready to find the truth. Come alive!
And there we go. That's all I'm going to play.
I love it.
Fantastic, guys. That is an amazing sound. How long did it take to get that perfect?
We tracked across quite a lot of sessions, didn't we? So the video from earlier where Jack was gyrating in front of the drum kit, that was session 1. So that was drum session. That was done in one day. We took on self-production, didn't we? Quite a couple of singles back. So Electric and After Dark and Wonderlust and Lift Off are all self-produced, but we outsourced the mixing and mastering. So we do all of our own production basically in that regard. So we moved on into the room that I'm in now actually to track the bass on one other session. Trying to think, it probably took about 6 weeks, probably, wasn't it?
We started in May, was when we actually started recording the drums, because I had a look the other day at when I was looking at the videos that we'd taken, and it started in May, and I think it took about 6 to 8 weeks for us to get it to mix.
Yeah, get it ready for mix.
And when's it due out?
26th of August. So I know, not long.
4 days
so
before my
excited.
birthday, because I make everything about me. It's 4 days.
Birthday song.
Thank you, Lord, for the song. And we did get a cleared up image there of Lift Off, the artwork. Who did that artwork?
So that artwork is done by my friend Vicky Taylor. She's a girl I used to work with. She's a brilliant graphic designer. She did a couple of the designs for the Wonderlust t-shirts when we did Wonderlust. And I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" So we were chatting straight away, and I was like, "Oh, can you design me some stuff for Lift Off?" And she really she really enjoys designing to music. She finds it really inspiring because she's like, I can really design to music. It's a really useful way. So she started building all this, and I was kind of like, I want it to be spacey. I want it to feel like it could be a patch that you wear, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so Vicky did that for us, and she's done the merch range for it as well. That'll be coming out soon. So we've got like the little spaceman drinking a little juice, and he's sat on a moon. So there's some really cool stuff coming with it.
If you guys have a hat coming out, I'm gonna have to pre-order one of them. I love my hats. Hats.
I do love hats.
Yeah, the biscuit guy walking around with a lift-off hat. I mean, you got to see this.
Jack loves the merch as well. He loves sitting on the merch store for hours and making designs. And
I literally I'm so, because there's a version of the front cover. So my nickname is Norks because my surname is Norcup. Good old Jackie Norks. But there's a version of the rocket. You'll see it says on the single cover, it says R2FTT. So what we try and do in a lot of our designs or a lot of our stuff is we drop like little hidden messages in everything. But there's a version of that design that just says Norks on it instead of R2FTT, because I love my custom merch.
Good.
That's awesome.
You guys look and sound fantastic. Where can where can the listeners and the viewers find out more about you? Social media, websites, what have you got going?
Go on, Lou. Tell them.
Go on to our link tree. It will link you to absolutely everything. So I don't even know what the starting link tree is.
I don't know what the link tree. Basically, just look for We Are Chasing August on pretty much every platform, and you'll find us.
I need to look into Linktree because it's like, I got the podcast and the websites and then the social media and then the LinkedIn and the blah 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 blah. So it's a great idea to get. Yeah. Well, guys, I think you're fantastic. Honestly, we hit it off really well after the festival. I'm glad we kept in touch. And I want to wish you the best of luck with the single. Is this going to be part of an LP, or are you making an album?
See, we've been releasing like singles after singles after singles, haven't we? But we have recently discussed that the next thing we want to do is an album. So,
there's potentially one other that follows this, and then we're going to do the album. So
definitely one more.
Yeah.
And I think really importantly, have you got any shows coming up? People can go and see you live.
Yes, we've got Loop Festival in Shrewsbury, which is the 17th of September.
Did you start following me on Instagram? I need to reach out to those guys. Yeah,
they're doing. It's to raise. It's like I think it's 50 bands in 10 venues across the day in Shrewsbury, and it's to raise money for the neonatal unit. So we were like, yep. Sign us up. We're on board.
Let's do it. And we can't go about mentioning the Shropshire Music Awards. I'll be speaking to them next week. Did you guys get nominated for something for them? No?
We didn't. No.
We haven't. Like, no one likes us. No one actually likes us. But I feel like we should be in America because they might like us more.
George, would you have them in America?
Oh, definitely.
Yes,
definitely. I love the sound. I mean, you guys are great.
The new song "Liftoff" is very LA, and that sounds like a weird thing to say, but it seems like
it really is. It really is.
So there you go. Maybe George can sort of organise a little LA tour for you. Get in touch with some venues.
I'm well up for that.
All of a sudden, I'm the LA manager now.
That's it. You'll be LA.
Can we stay at your house?
Can you stay at your house?
We haven't got that much money.
Tell them we just want pain and tights, and we'll be fine. Okay.
Get the tights. We'll get the tights.
Can you imagine that? Look, a tour manager. Are you aware of Cher? You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. George, again, thank you so much for joining me on today's show. I know it's a bit out of the norm, but I thought it was nice. Added a bit of extra dimension, like stateside, whether you liked it and what have you. I thought it was really good that you added your input today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
you've got your own podcast things going on, George. Want to tell the folks about that?
Oh yeah, you can watch my show, Not Your Everyday Critics, on YouTube. It's a show where we review and critique movies, just every genre, every type, everything. You can reach out to us on Facebook, Not Your Everyday Critics, at Not Your Everyday Critics on Instagram, or you can email us at Not Your Everyday or nyec.gsc@gmail. You can email us. I mean, if you like watching movies as much as we do, hit me up.
Yeah. You do a great job with that. And also as well, of course, George joins me from Inglorious Barstool's live show that we do every Wednesday from 7 p.m. It's a bit R-rated. 8 p.m. Sorry, not 7 p.m. 8 p.m. every Wednesday. It's a bit R-rated. It's imagine you guys having a few beers with the guys at the pub, and we talk about whatever. No, doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like the newest stories. Whatever's on our mind, we play games, and it's just about having a laugh with the mates. That's what it is. It's brilliant. We love it. Also, guys, before we get out of here, I need to tell you guys about Podaid. Podaid is back this year. We did it last year, and from 9 a.m. on the 29th of September, we'll be going live in front of camera and microphone for a 24-hour live podcast, non-stop, right through to 9 a.m. on the 30th of September, which is International Podcast Day. And like we've done it so that we end whilst International Podcast Day starts. We're good friends with Dave Lee, the organizer of International Podcast Day. He's a great guy. He's going to come on the show and talk to us. We have 24-hour-long guests that are going to join us. Then these are guests that are just fantastic. We've got Marcus Bean coming. We've got Eddie Pence and Jerry Rocher. We've got Adam and the Metal Hawks, which are like a crazy big band on TikTok and social media right now. And are you guys aware of this guy? He looks like a young Jack Black. It looks and sounds like Jack Black. I'll have to send you the link. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to be raising money for Lingen Davis. Last year we raised over £3,000, so we're going to try and beat that. There are ways that you can help raise money. Obviously, you can donate during the show or beforehand if you really want to. Or if you've got a company, a business, a band, a podcast, whatever it is you've got, you can sponsor an hour. So for an hour-long slot for £100, you can display your logo, and we'll be like, this hour is brought to you by George Lugo. Here's and then we'll make a big deal out of it. Tell people about your company. It's a good way to help a charity and get the name out there too. So Podaid, which is the 29th of September. Wonderful. Right, let's get out of here, guys. We were meant to do this in 40 minutes. It's been over an hour. Sorry, gents.
That's me.
We will catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.